ये दुआ है मेरी रब से, तुझे आशिकों में सबसे मेरी आशिकी पसंद आए, मेरी आशिकी पसंद आए। ये दुआ है मेरी रब से, तुझे आशिकों में सबसे मेरी आशिकी पसंद आए, मेरी आशिकी पसंद आए। के रंगों से लिखी हुई गजल है, तू हुस्न के रंगों से लिखी हुई गजल है, तू प्यार के दरिया में खिलता हुआ कमल है। ये दुआ है मेरी रब से, तुझे शायरों में सबसे मेरी शायरी पसंद आए, मेरी शायरी पसंद आए। ये दुआ है मेरी रब से। नजर मिला के मदहोश जिंदगी है, तुझसे नजर मिला के मदहोश जिंदगी है। दिन रात मेरे दिल पे बस तेरी बेखुदी है। ये दुआ है मेरी रब से, तुझे दीवानगी में सबसे मेरी दीवानगी पसंद आए, मेरी दीवानगी पसंद आए। ये दुआ है मेरी रब से, तुझे आशिकों में सबसे मेरी आशिकी पसंद आए, मेरी आशिकी पसंद आए, मेरी शायरी पसंद आए, धरती पे चाहे जहां भी रहेगी, तुझे तेरी खुशबू से पहचान लूंगा। तू धरती पे चाहे जहां भी रहेगी, तुझे तेरी खुशबू से पहचान लूंगा। तेरी धड़कन से पहचान लूंगा।
हमको तुमसे प्यार हुआ है, जीना दुश्वार हुआ है। तू धरती पे चाहे जहां भी रहेगा, तुझे तेरी खुशबू से पहचान लूंगी।
तुमसे प्यार हुआ है, जीना दुश्वार हुआ है। किया जो प्यार तो फिर दूर से मचलना क्या, तड़प के शाम सहर करवटें बदलना क्या। जो गुजरेगी तू से जो गुजरेगी तू मेरी रह गुजर से, तुझे तेरी आहट से पहचान लूंगा।
हमको तुमसे प्यार हुआ है, जीना दुश्वार हुआ है।
आ बैठ पास तेरी रूह में उतर जाऊं, नजर के पास रखूं, हद से मैं गुजर जाऊं। आ बैठ पास तेरी रूह में उतर जाऊं, नजर के पास रखूं, हद से मैं गुजर जाऊं।
नजर का तीर हटा, यूं जिगर के पार न करे, मैं बेकरार बहुत और बेकरार न करे।
मेरी जानो मेरे जानम जाने मन जाने जाना,
चुप गिरेगा जो होश में तो, चुप गिरेगा जो होश में तो, तुझे तेरी चाहत से पहचान लूंगी।
हमको तुमसे प्यार हुआ है, जीना दुश्वार हुआ है।
तू धरती पे चाहे जहां भी रहेगा,
तुझे तेरी खुशबू से पहचान लूंगा। अगर बंद हो जाएंगी मेरी आंखें,
तुझे तेरी धड़कन से पहचान लूंगी।
हाँ हमको तुमसे प्यार हुआ है,
जीना दुश्वार हुआ है।
हमको तुमसे प्यार हुआ है,
जीना दुश्वार हुआ है।
तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है रे बाबा, तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है, तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है रे बाबा, तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है। तुम ही हो जिस पे दिल मरता है, तुम ही हो जिस पे दिल मरता है।
तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है रे बाबा, तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है। तुम ही हो जिस पे दिल मरता है, तुम ही हो जिस पे दिल मरता है।
कि तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है रे बाबा, तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है। बेताबियां हो न जाए कहीं तू मुझसे जुदा, हो न जाए कहीं तू मुझसे जुदा, हो न जाए कहीं तू मुझसे जुदा। ऐसी बातों से दिल डरता है रे बाबा, तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है। तुम ही हो जिस पे दिल मरता है, तुम ही हो जिस पे दिल मरता है।
तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है रे बाबा, तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है। तुम ही हो जिस पे दिल मरता है, तुम ही हो जिस पे दिल मरता है।
कि तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है
रे बाबा, तुमसे मिलने को दिल करता है।
तक ना मिले नजरों से नजर, जब तक ना मिले नजरों से नजर, इकरार अधूरा रहता है घूंघट की आड़ से दिलबर का।
दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का,
दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का। से घुंघटा हटाने दे,
घर अपने मिलन की तो आने दे।
मेरे दिल पे नहीं मेरा काबू है,
कुछ नहीं ये तो चाहत का जादू है।
बढ़ती ही जाती है सनम प्यार की ये बेखुदी हो।
दो प्रेमियों के ना मिलने से संसार अधूरा रहता है, जब तक ना पड़े आशिक की नजर, जब तक ना पड़े आशिक की नजर, सिंगार अधूरा रहता है घूंघट की आड़ से दिलबर का।
दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का,
हाँ, दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का।
हाँ मोहब्बत में मिलना जरूरी है,
पास आने का अच्छा बहाना है।
क्या करूं मैं कि मौसम दीवाना है।
दिल मेरा धड़काने लगी अब तो ये दीवानगी हो,
बिना किसी यार के जाने जा ये प्यार अधूरा रहता है, जब तक ना मिले नजरों से नजर, जब तक ना मिले नजरों से नजर, इकरार अधूरा रहता है घूंघट की आड़ से दिलबर का।
घूंघट की आड़ से दिलबर का दीदार अधूरा रहता है, जब तक ना पड़े आशिक की नजर, सिंगार अधूरा रहता है घूंघट की आड़ से दिलबर का।
दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का,
दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का,
हाँ दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का,
हाँ, दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का,
दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का,
दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का,
हाँ दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का,
दिलबर का दिलबर का दिलबर का।
खता तो जब हो के हम हाल दिल किसी से कहें, किसी से कहें खता तो जब हके हम हाल दिल किसी से कहें, किसी को चाहते रहना कोई खता तो नहीं, किसी को चाहते रहना कोई खता तो नहीं। खता तो जब हके हम हाल दिल किसी से कहें, किसी को चाहते रहना कोई खता तो नहीं, किसी को चाहते रहना कोई खता तो नहीं। अमीर तू है, अमीर तू है तो इतना जरा बता दे मुझे, गरीब मैं हूँ मगर ये मेरी खता तो नहीं, गरीब मैं हूँ मगर ये मेरी खता तो नहीं, किसी को चाहते रहना कोई खता तो नहीं।
बात और है मुझसे कभी कहा तो नहीं, ये बात और है मुझसे कभी कहा तो नहीं, किसी को चाहते रहना कोई खता तो नहीं।
हर एक पल में, हर एक पल में तुझे याद किया करता हूँ, तुझे भुला के मैं पल भर कभी जिया तो नहीं, तुझे भुला के मैं पल भर कभी जिया तो नहीं, किसी को चाहते रहना कोई खता तो नहीं।
खता तो जब होके हम हाल दिल किसी से कहें, किसी को चाहते रहना कोई खता तो नहीं,
किसी को चाहते रहना तुझे ना देखूं तो चैन मुझे आता नहीं है, एक तेरे सिवा कोई और मुझे भाता नहीं है। तुझे ना देखूं तो चैन मुझे आता नहीं है, एक तेरे सिवा कोई और मुझे भाता नहीं है। कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है, कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है।
दिल हो के जुदा तुझसे रह पाता नहीं है, कोई भी मेरे दिल को समझाता नहीं है। कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है, कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है।
तुझे ना देखूं तो चैन मुझे आता नहीं है, एक तेरे सिवा कोई और मुझे भाता नहीं है। गुजरते नहीं ये मेरे दिन, अच्छी ना लगे ये दुनिया तेरे बिन।
मीठी मीठी ठंडी ठंडी आहें भरूं, बैठे बैठे तेरा इंतजार करूं, इंतजार करूं। ऐसे में कोई मुझको बहलाता नहीं है, ऐसे में कोई मुझको बहलाता नहीं है। तुझे ना देखूं तो चैन मुझे आता नहीं है, कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है, कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है।
तुझे ना देखूं तो चैन मुझे आता नहीं है, एक तेरे सिवा कोई और मुझे भाता नहीं है। तेरी तेरा ही ख्याल रहे, दर्द सताए बुरा हाल रहे।
ऐसा पहले तो कभी भी ना हुआ, कैसे तूने मेरी धड़कन को छुआ।
पल पल दिल बेकरार रहे, मुझे बस तेरा इंतजार रहे, इंतजार रहे। उलझन में मेरी कोई सुलझाता नहीं है, उलझन ये मेरी कोई सुलझाता नहीं है, एक तेरे सिवा कोई और मुझे भाता नहीं है। कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है, कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है।
दिल हो के जुदा तुझसे रह पाता नहीं है, कोई भी मेरे दिल को समझाता नहीं है। कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है, कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है।
कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है।
कहीं मुझे प्यार हुआ तो नहीं है।
बसंत आ रही है बाबाजी पिंडिये। इस बार बसंत हम फिर से मनाएंगे, गुड्डे और डोरे खुली ले आएंगे। इस बार बसंत हम फिर से मनाएंगे, गुड्डे और डोरे खुली ले आएंगे। होंडे पे जाके माल उठाएंगे, रोकेगा कोई तो रुकने न पाएंगे। पंजाब पुलिस को पीछे दौड़ाएंगे, दौड़ा के पुलिस गलियों में जाएंगे। गलियों में जाके छत पे चढ़ जाएंगे, छत पे हम चढ़ के गुड्डे उड़ाएंगे। उड़ा के गुड्डे पीछे लगाएंगे, कटे जो गुड्डा तो शोर मचाएंगे। यारों को अपनी छत पे बुलाएंगे, इस बार फिर से हम फायरिंग कराएंगे। पिस्टल तो बच्चों का खेल है यारो, इस बार हम तो कलेक्शन चलाएंगे। पिंडी वाले हैं सबको बताएंगे, पिंडी 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 पिंडी। इस बार बसंत हम फिर से मनाएंगे, गुड्डे और डोरे खुली ले आएंगे। इस बार बसंत हम फिर से मनाएंगे, गुड्डे और डोरे खुली ले आएंगे। राजे को फिर हम खाल मिलाएंगे, दारू और शीशे दोनों मंगवाएंगे। 4-5 फ्लेवर हम हाथ से ले आएंगे, लाके फ्लेवर हम शीशे बनवाएंगे। शीशे बनवा के हम कश लगाएंगे, लगा के कश हम मजे उड़ाएंगे। साथ में बारबेक्यू भी बनाएंगे, इस बार हम ऐसा माहौल बनाएंगे। यारों के यार हैं सबको बताएंगे, ऊपर में ऐसा गाना चलाएंगे। बूढ़े हो बच्चे हो सबको नचाएंगे। शहर अपना पिंडी है यारो, पिंडी वालों को तुम चैलेंज ना मारो। गलती से चढ़े हमारे जो हत्थे, सारी उम्र फिर रहोगे बच्चे। पिंडी 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 बाबाजी, 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 पिंडी 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 बाबाजी।
Cold rain streaks down a narrow city street just before dinner rush. Neon lights from a small restaurant flicker against the wet pavement. A frail woman stands near the entrance, hugging herself for warmth. Her coat is too thin, her shoes soaked through. She gathers courage and steps closer to the door. "Excuse me," she says softly, her voice barely steady. "Could I have something to eat? Anything at all?" A server blocks her path with an annoyed sigh. "Don't stand here," she snaps. "You're driving customers away." People waiting for tables avert their eyes. Some wrinkle their noses and step aside. No one answers her plea. The woman's hands tremble as she lowers them again. At that moment, the restaurant owner steps outside. His name is Aaron, and the stress of years shows on his face. He takes in the scene without a word. The server scoffs and gestures at the woman. "She's been begging again," she says. Aaron raises his hand calmly. "That's enough," he says, firm but quiet. He turns to the woman and nods. "Come sit by the window," he says. "I'll bring you something warm." The server rolls her eyes as Aaron disappears inside. Minutes later, he returns with a steaming container of food. The smell alone makes the woman's eyes water. She accepts it with shaking hands. "Thank you," she whispers. "Thank you so much." She moves to the curb and eats slowly at first. Then faster, like she's afraid it will vanish. When the container is empty, she stands again. She walks back toward Aaron, hesitating with every step. "Sir," she says carefully, "I don't want to seem ungrateful, but I was robbed when I arrived in this city. I have no money, no papers, nothing. If you could lend me a little to get back on my feet." Before Aaron can speak, the server cuts in sharply. "Here we go again," she says. They always have a story. A few customers chuckle under their breath. Aaron studies the woman's face closely. He reaches into his wallet. He pulls out several bills and places them in her palm. "Take this," he says. "Don't worry about paying it back. Just take care of yourself." The woman's composure breaks instantly. Tears spill down her cheeks. "I won't forget this," she sobs. "I promise." She walks away clutching the money like it's fragile glass. The server watches her go with a cold smile. "If she comes back," she mutters, "I'll recognize her." Years pass without ceremony or warning. Aaron's life unravels piece by piece. A business deal collapses, a marriage ends bitterly, the restaurant is sold to cover debts. Soon the man who once gave freely has nothing left. Now he survives by collecting recyclables at dawn. His hands are rough, his clothes worn thin. One afternoon, he passes his old restaurant. It looks brighter now, renovated, unfamiliar. A luxury car pulls up to the curb. A confident woman steps out, dressed sharply. The same server rushes forward, smiling wide. "Welcome," she says eagerly. The woman pauses and studies her face. "You don't remember me," she says calmly. "5 years ago, I stood right here with nothing." The server's smile fades instantly. The woman looks around the restaurant. "The man who helped me," she asks. "Where is he now?" The server lowers her eyes. "He doesn't work here," she says quietly. "I don't know where he went." Disappointment crosses the woman's face. She turns away and leaves. Later that evening, she stops at a corner store. As she exits, a man pushing a cart approaches. "Excuse me," he says politely. "Do you have any bottles?" Her breath catches in her throat. Erin blinks, confused. "You saved me," she says. "I'm not doing very well these days," he admits. She shakes her head firmly. "You gave me dignity when I had none." She explains how she built a company from nothing, how that moment outside the restaurant kept her going. Erin's eyes fill with tears. In the bustling heart of the city, there was a restaurant known not just for its food, but for the stories that unfolded within its walls. One afternoon, an old man, dressed in worn-out clothes, shuffled in. His hair was disheveled, and his face was etched with the lines of a hard life. He looked around, his eyes scanning the tables filled with well-dressed patrons, and finally settled on an empty corner table. As he sat down, he let out a heavy sigh, drawing a few disapproving glances from nearby diners. The restaurant was busy, and the staff were rushing back and forth. A young waitress named Sarah noticed the old man. While her colleagues seemed to be actively avoiding his table, Sarah felt a pang of compassion. She picked up a menu and a glass of water and walked over with a warm smile. "Welcome, sir. Here's some water for you. Take your time to look at the menu." The old man looked up, surprised by her kindness. He nodded slowly, a faint smile touching his lips. "Thank you, young lady. Thank you." Sarah went back to her duties, but she kept an eye on him. She saw how he looked at the prices on the menu, his brow furrowed with worry. After a few minutes, he called her over. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "I don't have much money. I was just hoping for something simple, maybe just a bowl of plain rice." Some of the other waiters overheard and snickered, but Sarah's smile didn't waver. "Of course, sir. One bowl of rice coming right up. But you know, a little something to go with it would make it much better. How about I ask the chef to add a nice vegetable stir-fry on top? It's on me." The old man's eyes widened. You would do that for me?" Sarah just nodded. "Everyone deserves a warm meal." She went to the kitchen and placed the order. The chef, a burly man named Chen, raised an eyebrow. "Just rice. And you're adding veggies for free." "Sarah, we're not a charity," Sarah replied firmly. "He's hungry." "Chen, it's just a few vegetables. Please." Seeing her determination, Chen sighed but complied, even adding a little extra sauce to make the dish more flavorful. When Sarah brought the food to the old man, his eyes welled up with tears. I don't know how to thank you," he stammered. "Enjoy your meal, sir," she said softly, before turning to attend to another table. As the old man ate, he watched Sarah. He saw her patiently explaining the menu to a confused tourist, helping a mother clean up a spill her child had made, and always with that same genuine smile. She treated every customer with respect and kindness, regardless of who they were. A little while later, a sleek, black car pulled up outside the restaurant. A man in a sharp suit got out and walked in, causing a stir among the staff and customers. He looked around and his eyes landed on the old man in the corner. He walked straight to the table, bowed respectfully, and said, "Chairman, are you ready to leave?" The entire restaurant fell silent. Jaws dropped. The waiters who had been mocking the old man just moments before now stood frozen in shock. The restaurant manager rushed over, his face pale. "Chairman, Mr. Thompson, is that really you?" The old man, now revealed as Mr. Thompson, the billionaire owner of the entire restaurant chain, slowly stood up. His demeanor had changed completely. He still wore the old clothes, but he now carried himself with an air of quiet authority. He looked at the stunned manager and said, "Yes, it's me. I wanted to see how my staff treats people when they think no one important is watching, and I have to say, I'm deeply disappointed in most of you." He then turned his gaze to Sarah, who was standing nearby, looking just as shocked as everyone else. He walked over to her. "Young lady, what is your name?" "Sarah," she stammered. Mr. Thompson smiled, a genuine, warm smile. "Sarah, you showed me something I was beginning to think had been lost in this business. True compassion. You didn't see a poor old man, you saw a human being who needed help. You treated me with dignity and kindness when others offered only scorn." He then turned to the entire restaurant and announced, effective immediately, "Sarah is promoted to be the new general manager of this flagship restaurant. She will be in charge of retraining all of you on what customer service truly means." A wave of gasps and murmurs swept through the room. Sarah was speechless. "But, sir, I'm just a waitress. I don't know how to be a manager." Mr. Thompson put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You know the most important thing, Sarah. You know how to be a good person. The business skills, I will have the best people teach you. Your salary will be tripled, and you will receive a bonus for your outstanding character." He then looked at the other waiters. "As for the rest of you, consider this a final warning. Sarah will decide who gets to keep their jobs. Learn from her, or find work elsewhere." That day, the restaurant didn't just get a new manager, it got a new soul. Sarah, though initially overwhelmed, rose to the challenge. She led not with authority, but with the same kindness she had shown the disguised chairman. She taught her staff that every customer, regardless of their appearance or status, deserved respect. The restaurant's atmosphere transformed. It became known not just for its food, but for its incredible warmth and hospitality. Business boomed, and it became the most successful branch in the entire chain. And Mr. Thompson, he often visited, but not as the chairman. He'd come in quietly, sit at a corner table, and just watch. He'd watch Sarah leading her team, a proud smile on his face. He knew he had put his company's heart in the right hands. Sarah's story became a legend within the company, a powerful reminder that true worth is unmeasured by the clothes you wear or the money in your pocket, but by the kindness in your heart. It shows us all that a small act of compassion can lead to the greatest rewards, and that sometimes, the most important tests in life are the ones we don't even know we're taking. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold with us. If it touched your heart, please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. We have more inspiring stories coming your way, so don't forget to turn on notifications. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever experienced or witnessed an act of kindness that changed everything? Share your story with our community. Until next time, remember to be kind. An old man in dusty work clothes walked into a luxury car dealership. He looked around, a hopeful glint in his eye, only to be met with cold stares and whispers from the sales staff. One salesman openly scoffed, "Can he even afford the floor mats?" Another smirked, "Maybe he's lost. The bus stop is outside." The old man, whose name was Mr. Henderson, felt a pang of disappointment. He wasn't just any visitor. He was the owner of this entire dealership chain, and he was here to see his business from a customer's perspective. As the staff continued to ignore him, a young associate named Marcus approached. He had a warm, genuine smile. "Good afternoon, sir. Is there anything I can help you with today?" "That's a beautiful model you're looking at." Marcus spent the next hour with Mr. Henderson, patiently explaining every feature, offering him a coffee, and treating him with the utmost respect. Even though he knew a sale was unlikely, he didn't see a shabby old man. He saw a person with a dream. Mr. Henderson was deeply moved by the young man's kindness and professionalism. 3 weeks later, a sleek black car pulled up to the dealership. Out stepped Mr. Henderson, this time dressed in an impeccably tailored suit. The staff who had previously mocked him rushed to greet him, their faces a mixture of shock and panic. He walked past them, his eyes searching the room until he found Marcus. He called a staff meeting right there on the showroom floor. 3 weeks ago, Mr. Henderson began, his voice calm but firm. "I came here dressed as a simple worker. Most of you judged me by my clothes and decided I wasn't worth your time. You treated me with disrespect." He paused, letting his words sink in. "But one of you didn't." He turned to Marcus. "This young man treated me with dignity. He showed me what true customer service looks like. It's not about the size of the wallet, but the size of the heart." Then, he made an announcement that sent shockwaves through the room. Effective immediately, Marcus is promoted to general manager of this entire branch. And as for the rest of you, he looked at the stunned salespeople. "I suggest you learn from him. Because character, not commission, is what truly drives this business." Marcus stood there, speechless, as his life changed in an instant. A powerful reminder that kindness is a currency that always pays off. Thanks for watching.